Welcome! My name is Janine and today we're going to make a diffuser necklace for essential oils. I have my finished pieces here that you can kind of see. But to get started, in your kit you got a little bit of this air hardening terracotta clay. And it'll be a little bit stiff, so you'll need a little bit of water to kind of get it working smooth. So I'm going to move these aside. And I've got my piece of wax paper. I also cut out a grocery bag and just taped it to cover my work surface because this will get everywhere. It doesn't stain, but it gets messy. So I just got a little bit of water here and get that on my hands. And you just want to knead this until it's nice and soft. You can see it's on my hands. Each kit has about 1 ounce of clay in it. You should be able to make one large clay pendant, possibly 2 small ones if you use a small bottle cap. Well, it's feeling pretty good. I am going to make the pendant about 1/4 inch thick. Since this is air hardening clay, the thicker it is, the longer it'll take to dry. The directions on the bag says it takes anywhere from 48 to 36 hours to harden. I made one thicker pendant and that one took the full 36 hours to dry. So I'm just going to use the palm of my hand, kind of flatten it out. Now, if you have a roller, you can use that. Or if you also have a smooth-sided jar, you could use that as well. I'm just going to go ahead and roll this out so it's get a nice smooth surface. That looks pretty good. So it's pretty thin. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back down. In every kit, you got this larger size bottle cap. It makes a pretty decent size pendant similar to the one here. However, if you don't like that size, you can just do like, this is like from a soda bottle. It's a smaller one. That'll give you kind of a bit of a smaller, you're not really gonna see much shrinkage. Whatever you cut it out, it's pretty much going to stay the same size, so you don't have to worry about that. Like I said, you could probably get 1 large one, maybe 2 small, so it's kind of up to you. And you're just going to take the bottle cap and line it up and then press it down just like a cookie cutter. And I twist it just a bit and then I'll just remove that excess clay. We'll set that aside. And there's our pendant. And I'm going to just gently peel it off. So now you can see we've got this sort of rough edge. You can, once the clay is dry, you can sand it, you can paint it. Since you're going to be putting essential oils on it, I would recommend not painting it, but you could certainly sand it. I'm just going to kind of smooth these edges down. I don't mind the back having like a little bit of roughness to it. As long as it's kind of smooth, you could take a little bit of water and just smooth that down. I do recommend covering the back of it with a piece of felt because you don't want any essential oils directly on your skin or coming off on your clothing. So you can see that water just kind of smoothing that edge down a little bit. And you can kind of take it across the top here. This is a messy craft, as you can see, so don't wear your wear an apron or a t-shirt or something that you don't mind getting messy in. Like I said, it doesn't stain, but so it looks pretty good. It's pretty nice and round. I'm happy with that. Okay. And before it dries, you want to stamp it. So you can use just regular stamps. I found that the ones that have sort of a deeper design rather than sort of like a shallow design, like this one didn't work as good as something like this. You want to give it a good press so that you get a nice defined design into there. You don't want to see the edge, so you don't want to press too hard. If you don't have stamps at home, you can use a toothpick and kind of just draw a design. You can find objects that have texture like lace or seashells and kind of press some texture into there. If you've got any kind of thing that has texture with it, you can do. Or you can simply just draw and freehand it. So I'm actually gonna punch, I think with this one, it would be okay to do the stamp first and then punch the hole for the string, since I have a lot of empty space at the top. If you're doing a design, maybe that, you know, I would want to put the hole first. It's sort of up to you, I guess. Doesn't matter if you do the stamp and then the hole punch. So, in theory, the way the stamp looks is how it is. I'm just gonna okay, so I did give it a good bit of pressure to get that butterfly in there. I'm gonna pull this up gently so you can kind of see it. So that looks nice. And if you wanted to add any more designs around, you could do that. So in your kit, you got a small piece of straw, and then basically all you're gonna use this for is to create a hole right at the top of the pendant for the string to go through. And you wanna make sure you don't make that too thin, so you wanna be able to have a good sturdy bridge above the hole. So I'm just punching it and then kind of twisting, and I can then use my toothpick to kind of push it through. There we go. So there it is. And if I wanted to do any more designs, I could, but going forward, I'm just gonna set that aside on a piece of wax paper and let it dry, like I said, anywhere from 48 to 36 hours. Once that's dry, you can string it up and then add a piece of felt to the back. And I'll show you that step next. Okay, I have my other one set aside, and once your pendant is nice and dry and hardened, you can go ahead and cut the piece of felt to go onto the back of it. So in your kit, you've got a little piece of felt. You could simply lay it down flat, trace it with a pen, and then basically you want to cut it to be a little bit smaller. And I would even cut kind of a short, straight line across the top so it doesn't cover the hole. So for example, like I did on this one. This way it'll be nice and soft, and it'll help prevent any oil from getting directly on your skin or maybe seeping through over time, depending on how much you put in there. So I'll show you how to do this. It doesn't have to be exact, just gives you a guide. Let's cut this out. And I would cut to the inside of the line so that you know it'll be, because the tracing is going to be bigger, that'll give you a guide, and then you can go back in and trim as needed. It isn't mandatory to put the felt on the back, it's just a way to protect your clothes and your skin. So I could even go a little bit thinner. I don't want to see it from the front. I definitely don't want to see it through the hole either. So I'm just going to go again around. And it's on the back, so if it's not a perfect circle, no one's going to see it. Don't worry. Okay. Let's try that. Oh, that looks good. Now, I'm going to cut straight across so that I clear that where the hole is. I'm just going to measure it and make a little mark with my pen. Probably just going to go like here. We'll see how if that works. Yeah, that looks great. So I just have standard craft glue. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the felt. Get the glue going. Firmly press it down. Since it's just felt, it doesn't need a lot of glue. You don't want it squeezing out the side, really. Okay, now we're ready to string. In each kit, everybody got 36 inches of hemp cord. There's a variety of colors in the kits. I've got the sort of natural color here. And then everybody got 1 lava bead. Essential oils can also be, I don't know if you can see, it actually is made from lava rock. You can actually add the essential oil to the lava bead or the clay pendant, sort of up to you. And I'll show you how to add the essential oil in a bit. So I gave everybody 36 inches because that gives you plenty of string to work with. I'm going to show you how to do an adjustable necklace. You could simply tie a knot if you get it to the length that you want, but I'll show you how to make it so that you can either make it shorter or longer, and then you can just kind of pull it over your head. So to start, we're going to put both ends together. We're going to pick up our pendant. You want to take the 2 threads together and put them through the back of the hole on the pendant, just like so. And we're going to pull it almost all the way to the end. You'll see your loop on the other end. And you're going to take the 2 threads and go through that loop to secure it. And we'll just pull those on. You want to try and keep the ends as even as possible so that you know you're right kind of in the middle. So that's how to secure the pendant. Pretty easy. Next step is to slide that lava bead right on top. So again, put both strings together. And then we're just gonna string both strings at the same time through the lava bead. I'm gonna slide it all the way down. You wanna make sure that's nice and snug, you know, by kind of shimming it and pulling it. And then next, we're just gonna do a standard knot just above this to hold that in place. So I wrap, and then I push through the back and pull through. Now the trick is getting it right on top of the bead. I use my pointer finger and my thumb, and I kind of just gently, while holding the bead in place, try and move my knot down as close as possible. Pull it nice and tight. That way the bead won't move around at all. That's the finished look of the necklace. So next step is to show you how to do the adjustable string. Now here's where I was mentioning you could simply just tie a knot and have a really long necklace. If you're okay with that, no big deal. If you want to make it adjustable so that it can be different heights, this is what you gotta do. So you're just doing 2 simple knots. So you've got your 2 ends of your thread here. Basically, we're gonna put a knot on this side and then a knot on that side. So we'll start with the left. You're gonna hold the bottom thread and we're gonna knot the top thread. So we're gonna wrap around like so, and then we'll pull through the front. So it's just a basic overhand knot, and you wanna give yourself a little tail that you'll be able to pull with. So, and then I'm just gonna pull that tight, like so. This way, it slides easily over. And then we're gonna repeat that same process with our other tail on the other side of the string. So I'm gonna go under, around, and then I'm gonna come through. So basically I'm just tying a knot over the other existing string, and then I'm gonna pull that tight. So here you can, that's all the way open. You could slide it over your head, and then with the tails, you just pull on the tails and you can adjust to whatever side you need. And that's it as far as stringing it up. When you're ready to put essential oils on it, I do recommend laying the necklace flat on a surface and waiting for all the oils to absorb before you actually wear it. It is also recommended to apply the essential oils to a Q-tip and then just gently rub it on. I wouldn't recommend more than 1 drop, depending on the size. The nice thing about the stamping is that it helps kind of catch the oil and then soak right in. It really depends on what oil you want to use, depending on your mood. Lavender for relaxing, peppermint to kind of waken you up. But that's it. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.